Proof for the existence of God. Who is a Jew? The son of a Jewish mother or a convert? The Jewish people are a society whose definition just mentioned is their definition for every individual Jew, which means that every Jewish mother has a Jewish mother. As we go backwards in the order of the ages, we see that the Jewish people are scattered all around the world, and in all places that they observe the same way of life, we must conclude that we have the same single origin, which is the Holy Land, and at some point in time we were exiled from our country. Going back to the Jews prior to the diaspora, we know that they had the same basic structure of literature and laws because we are continuing in their path, which means that they also kept 613 commandments as we do. Also, they educated and told their next generation what it is all for, as did the generation before that, as did the generation before that, going all the way back to the first generation of the Jewish people. And from the point of view of the commandments, they also commemorate the original Exodus, such as putting on tefillin, putting a mezuzah on the doorpost, and by honoring the individual holy days. Let's go back to that first generation of the Jewish people. That generation was a bit different than all others in that they didn't tell their sons that our ancestors went out of Egypt, but rather they told their sons that they themselves went out of Egypt, meaning that every father, mother, grandfather, and grandmother told his or her own son the following facts. I was present during the 10 plagues. I crossed through the Red Sea. I walked for 40 years in the desert under the guidance of Moses. I was present at Mount Sinai when God spoke to the entire Jewish people. And as we said, all of this was told by entire people to their progeny in detail. It does not seem possible to say that an entire people would lie like this to its own progeny. It is a totally unprofitable lie because of the heavy burden which the commandments demand, such as to observe the Sabbath, which means working only 5.5 days a week instead of 7, which means less profit, to put on tefillin, which are expensive, not to eat bread or any other wheat products for the 7 days of Passover, which is very inconvenient. These commandments burden the suspected liar much more and much earlier than the listener himself.